Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Hello, friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your study, your practice. Sylvain Chamberlain here, abbot of the Threefold Lotus Kuan School. Kuan School, same word. The Four Noble Truths. What do you know about the Four Noble Truths? That's what we're going to talk about today. Again, this is an entry in the Buddhism reference book that I'm putting together. The electronic version is available on threefoldlotus.com right now. The print version will be available once it is thoroughly vetted for typos and so forth. Not to say that the electronic version is plagued by them, but there may be a few little ones. Let me know if you find anything major, certainly, and we'll fix that. Electronically, it's easy. The print book, there's costs involved, and I'm just trying to keep my costs down as much as I can, so that when I finally release the print version, it will be, 99.9%. Yeah, and it costs so much. Shipping today. So a lot of people are going for the electronic books, much cheaper, no shipping, immediate satisfaction. Yeah. All right. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Let's get to the Four Noble Truths. It's one of the earliest teachings of Shakyamuni's, right? And I went all over the internet looking for descriptions, and some of them, so many of them, are rife with sectarian. It's tiring, really. And of all places, I don't rely on Wikipedia for everything, but for some stuff, they're pretty darn good. They give you a good general idea. And so I found, with a few little tweaks that I made, I tried to keep it the way it was because I'll talk about it afterward. But this is from an entry. In Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths, Sanskrit, I'm not going to go through the pronunciations and stuff. You can read it for yourself. And they give you the Sanskrit, the Pali, the four Arya Satyas, right? The truths of the noble ones. So they give you some interesting information. It is the early teachings, so, I'm not going to beat them over the head for giving that information. But it's not part of the Lotus Sutra, not literally. However, it is part of the framework of our understanding of Buddhism. So I thought, well, probably should put it in this Buddhism reference. Not because I want to hit every single term, but this is a biggie, yeah? It's been around the whole history of Buddhism. And Nichiren actually has referred to it once or twice in his letters, but not as in total, right? So, for the beginner who might be just starting out with Lotus Sutra Buddhism and Nichiren's mentorship, might be an interesting reference. And certainly as somebody who's endeavoring to do whatever it is I'm doing, to interpret it for our use as Lotus Sutra Buddhists, well, that's right up my alley, as it were. So, what's the first truth? Dukkha. Always makes me smile when I say that name. I feel like a little kid. I dukkha'd in my karma. Literally transliterated here as suffering. Not the best equation, but they go into it a little bit more. Here, quote, not being at ease, end quote. That's a little bit more true to the translation of Prakrit, right? And what Shakyamuni was meaning by dukkha. That we live in a state of unease. Some might say dis-ease, but that has a slightly different meaning. It's just that we never are restful in samsara, in this life, as it were. Because why? Why are we never at rest? They have more words here. Standing unstable. Right? Nothing's ever quite stable. It's an innate characteristic of existence in the realm of samsara. That's the first noble truth. Now, sometimes you see it transliterated as, all life is suffering. Wah, sounds so Christian. Yeah, because you're supposed to suffer. For what? Oh, such crap. But here Buddha is saying something it's very different, but it rings, right? It's just, he's saying, look, life always feels challenging. Okay? That's not suffering, is it? Again, that's a very Western push into this. It's just about being uneasy all the time. More true to translations, stress, anxiety. Yeah, if you look, there's a lot of scholarship that says that. We live in a state of stress and anxiety. Yeah. The blanket umbrella term of suffering. Seems like you did something wrong. No, it's not about that. Okay, first truth. Second truth, samudaya, the origin, arising, combination. Like everything, arises, abides, decays, right? Dissolves. Here it says cause. We're on the cusp of understanding here. Dukkha, unease, arises simultaneously with tanha, or craving. There it is. Desire or attachment. Literally, much more true. If you read the Nidana, you'll see this truly represented. Thirst. What a wonderful word. Our thirst for things. Our thingifying engine. We're in unrest, and we endeavor to assuage that unrest with stuff. So we thirst for stuff. Brilliant. Third is nirodha. How do we stop this? How do we stop this ever emotional attachment, a response to our physical and emotional stress and anxiety? How do we escape it? That's the solution, right? If we want to stop feeling stress, anxiety, unease, we need to stop craving. We need to stop trying to quench our thirst. That's nirodha, cessation, ending, confinement. Much better word. It's nice to have these different words because then we can start abstracting what it really means. Right? We don't take a gun to it. Oh, there I want bubble gum. Let's shoot bubble gum out of my brain. That's not cessation. So dukkha, our state of unease, can be ended or contained by the renouncement or letting go of this tanha, this thirst. The confinement of tanha releases the excessive bind of dukkha. Now you can see where that next word that we've talked about before, right, equanimity, comes from. It's liberation. Right? We detach from that constant craving of trying to fix our instability. Oh, and suddenly we find stability is everywhere. We were just missing it because we were so busy trying to shore ourselves up. Oh, yeah, we're already standing. So what's the fourth noble truth? Marga. The path, the noble eightfold path, as it were, which is also in this book, so I won't leave you hanging. It's the path leading to the confinement of tanha and dukkha. Okay, so that's the definition from Wikipedia. Well, we're not quite done. There's a little bit more, sorry. The four truths appear in many grammatical forms in the ancient Buddhist texts and are traditionally identified as the first teachings given by Shakyamuni Buddha. While often called one of the most important teachings in Buddhism, of course, they have both a symbolic and a propositional function. Symbolically, they represent the awakening and liberation of, and it just says the Buddha, but we know it's Shakyamuni Buddha, and of the potential for his followers to reach the same liberation and freedom as him. I find it very interesting. I didn't do this. On Wikipedia, somebody entered, and the potential, right, for his followers to reach the same liberation and freedom as him. Lotus Sutra. I don't think that's what they were thinking when they wrote that, but there it is. As propositions, the Four Truths are a conceptual framework that appear in the Pali Canon, early translations, but there were translations before Pali. No offense to you Hinayanists who think you are the only ones who know. And early hybrid Sanskrit Buddhist scriptures as a part. I've talked about Gandhara and the discoveries they made there just 20 years ago of all kinds of translations into different languages in a hotbed of northeastern India. Was northeastern India. Now it's split up among 3, 4, or 5 different countries. I don't know, but right? They found lots of translations of many sutras and commentaries. As propositions, the Four Truths, conceptual framework, right? As part of the broader network of teachings, right? Because the oral tradition broke down after several hundred years, and these transliterations started appearing and traveling to different countries. So it seemed like there were Buddhist sutras and teachings cropping up all over the place. So a network of teachings. It also refers to the fact that all of these teachings, even though they happened over periods of hundreds of years in the period of 50 years of Shakyamuni's lifetime, but they started appearing all over the place at different points in time, they all interconnect. They all relate to one another, right? This is the great scholarship of Tendai, who kind of organized all of this stuff and put them in proper sectors, the 5 periods of teachings, right? We don't need to get into that today. And it is raining, so you can probably hear that in the background. I hope that doesn't interfere too much. All right, so let's go on. This network, conceptual framework, is useful for introducing and explaining Buddhist thought, which has to be personally understood or experienced. It's not bad as a definition. So I just have one short little paragraph here to wrap it up. This is the most complete version on the internet. There are volumes of expedient lessons discussing these Four Truths. For the statement that these teachings were to lead Shakyamuni's followers to the same awakening and liberation he had achieved or attained, Mahayana teachings make evident that the Lotus Sutra is the culminating teaching of Shakyamuni's mission to make universal the method to enlightenment equal to his own. So there, I said it in print. For the purpose of our latter-day practice, the above is more than adequate. Also see Noble Eightfold Path. So with just this much information, you know all you need to know about the Four Noble Truths. Really, you don't need to spend much more time on it than this unless you're curious. And then go to Noble Eightfold Truth, and that's broken down, and you'll get much more granular than you may even want to get. But it's interesting information as a background, a building block for what we're doing when we chant Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, what it is an endeavor of doing. Do you need to know all that? No. Is it helpful sometimes when we're not sure what the hell am I doing anyway? Sometimes reading this stuff, it satisfies our database mind, right? And that can be of value if it makes you feel more confident, get rid of doubt. That's part of what study's for, to keep you focused on your enlightenment. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I know it takes effort. Nichiren knew it took effort. That's why he kept trying to encourage everyone he could talk to. His disciples, his followers, his students, his fellow teachers. Keep it up. That makes all the difference. And you can't keep it up if you don't feel confident. How can you be resolved in something if you're not confident that it works? Good question. Anyway, the Four Noble Truths. Ooh, the next one's going to be fun. Go Honzon. What the hell is that? I will see you then. I look forward to it. Once again, deep appreciation. Please like and subscribe. It does a lot for the algorithms. Helps expand our Sangha. It's a bodhisattva effort. If you can, if they're helpful, please purchase an ebook. If you like print books, a bunch of those on Lulu. All the links are in the video, in the description. Don't forget the podcasts. They're free. Lots of free information on threefoldlotus.com as well, on that study page. In the meantime, just take care of your health. Be kind. Keep your practice strong. And I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye for now.